to the rise of Napoleon, and he became then the emperor. This was pretty much with approval of the people, because this terror had just demanded a high price. It just people were not willing to put up with this, and this Pater Familia is still vivid, is still preserved in the society, and still swings with it. I mean, the nostalgia in the Sopranos, but in the Sopranos as well, you can see that the fall of the family in that sense, because this is again some sort of a phenomena we talked about in about our age and about our development. This is that the change of family ties. So this is family ties became looser. So friendship changes significantly, and so on, and as well as what you've seen in Sopranos, as well as in Mad Men. This is some sort of this insanity, this madness, what this entire change brings you in. So this is like if you want that you as a man have to always cope with the change of your society. I mean, if you see the time Mad Men was made, or should in a way portrays the years, the 60s and 70s, and then you have Sopranos, which is still started in the 90s. You can still see here as well. There's still this rift within this self-perception of a man, this rift that you still are struggling to maintain, that you're still struggling to keep up, and this change, this great transformation, and these things, they put man under pressure. This is what you see in both TV shows as well. So even though you may have sympathies for Don Draper as well as for Tony Soprano, nevertheless, one big issue is that they are struggling to cope with the changes. I mean, especially in the Pater Familias. I mean, if you have a daughter, if you have a son, your son is not so as strong as you. The people around you, they depend on you. So you have to always make the decisions of your family. So this ideal view, what everyone some sort of expects. I mean, you are the head of the family. This is what some men and so on, especially in some conservative, well, not only conservative, but this is as well as in many leftist groups and so on, pretty much idealize some mourn, if you want, mourn to those old times, or think that back in the days everything was good. This is what we talked about in male nostalgia, this gender, so that you live in the past, idealize the past still, but then you some sort of confronted with the reality, and this is that this family is dysfunctional. This is not if you want some everything is fine. This is not like that nothing happens with trouble. No, quite the contrary. There's a lot of intrigues going on in Tony Soprano. His own mother wants to get him clipped, as well as the people around him. They don't seem to understand him. There's one episode. This is where he some sort of notices that the people around him that they just some sort of are buttlickers. They only wanting to like them, so they are not very natural around him, and he then becomes more aware. He is isolated. This is again this old view, this some sort of the destruction of this nostalgia that you thought would be ideal. This gender of a man that you thought would have so much appeal, but in the end it some sort of has a dark side on it, and this is that it makes you isolated, that things do not work as it should be, like, I mean, your children, and that these things always are of violence. So you have to assert your self-violence, and as well as you see this in Sopranos, partially in the Sopranos, as well as that you have to, in a way, maintain this old view, this nostalgia, and it takes a lot of strength. It takes a lot of view, or it eats up, if you want, a lot of your a lot of the people around you, because you some sort of drag all the people around you, like it would be an old word, of course. We have to say or add to it that the mobsters or the organized crime is, in a way, a closed society where things evolve differently, where things happen in their own time, and especially because this mobster culture is intertwined with the Italian identity, which came over from as a migrant and suffered through exclusion. This, of course, plays a crucial part as well, and you see some references to that in the Sopranos as well. So this migrant, or how Italo-American migrants, or how Italo-Americans should be perceived, or what is the way they are, or that the Italo-Americans, that they struggle with their own self-perception as well. So there are some episodes where the friends of Dr. Melfi debate about it, as well as within the community. I mean, how should Italo-Americans be perceived, or are they only perceived through the mafia, through organized crime? So this thought is that all Italo-Americans some sort of our criminals, but or are they perceived all as criminals, or do they have some sort of a contribution, if you want, a cultural contribution to the society as well, and why aren't they seen through this cultural narration? And as well as there's a very interesting episode where there's a discussion whether those mobster movies like Godfather and so, whether they are not harmful actually to the perception of Italo-Americans. So you have here as well as the migrant element as well, but it is partially, or if you want, in Sopranos, it is not very significant, this migrant element. However, but you can really see some sort of this role model, or that this struggling to maintain this role model, and the same you have in Breaking Bad as well. In Breaking Bad, Walter White, he was some sort of a pushover. Never anyone took him seriously. Again, something changed. I mean, in his youth, he was this sophisticated with a high self-esteem. I mean, there are some flashbacks where you see Walter White in the TV show, how sophisticated and even, if you want, condescending he is, but then things later changed. He becomes more very cautiously and so on. But then things change when he becomes Heisenberg, because this is what he, in a way, even though he does it for the thrill, he does it for himself, and in the end he admits it, but he does it as well as some sort of to take care of his family because he still wants to be the strong man. I mean, there's one scene, this is pretty much iconic, where he says to Skylar, I am the danger, and so on. So this is again this self-assertion, this is again this fulfillment or this strong urge that you have to fulfill a special role model as a man. And then he gets this very iconic then when some sort of when Walter White, with the help of Saul Goodman, some sort of try to wash the money and want to make it appear to his family that some people would donate money to Walter White's cancer treatment. There you see Walter White gets upset because no one knows that he earned this money. And this is again some sort of, you have this trope. So again, this arc, this man that you take care of his family, he gets mad because his family some sort of gets money from charity, and he even is mad on his son, at his son, and so on, because he some sort of cannot be this father figure. He cannot be this strong man for his family, or he's the strong man, but his family doesn't know it. He cannot get recognition as the strong man, as this arc, what society wants him to be. I mean, this is one of the reasons, for example, what many people actually thought in the beginning, why Walter White's behavior was actually very honorable. This is because we are still, it sounds honorable in that sense. I mean, what is this man doing? I mean, he cares for his family. Of course, he enjoys the thrill. Yeah, of course. Who wouldn't? But it is still, it appears in that sense as honorable, because he some sort of takes care of his family, what he is supposed to do to be. And then you see the transformation from this pushover who has to clean his students' cars to this self-sophisticated man, this strong man, this man who induces fear, who induces if you want strongness, or who appears strong. Of course, this has a lot of appeal. And then people, of course, went mad when Skylar, Walter's wife, betrayed him, ran away. She stood in it. She did not stand with her man, and so on. And this, again, you have some sort of a change of perception. What do you perceive as manliness? I mean, should have, is there another way, and so on. And again, you see here that the tension, this male role model puts on man. So you have to be this successful man. You try to fulfill your purpose in that sense. You are this 10 years man, and it becomes very difficult indeed. And we will talk about this later in our final episode, the next time, on the perception, on the appeal of characters. This was Adem Kirbas from Ordu in Turkey. We are still in the pandemic. I hope that you will take care of yourselves. Bye.